Every morning, life gives us a gift, a fresh page, a brand new beginning, and an opportunity to design how the rest of our day will flow. Yet most of us rush through it, half asleep, half aware, and completely unaware of the treasure lying right in front of us. What if I told you that in just 20 minutes each morning, you can awaken a power within yourself that not only charges your body, but also fuels your mind and soul with a limitless energy? Not the kind of energy that fades after coffee, but the energy that flows from God Himself, an energy that makes you unstoppable in the face of life's challenges. Today, let us explore together how to unlock this treasure step by step with simple practices that reconnect us to the source of divine strength. Energy is not just about physical strength. True energy is the harmony of body, mind, and soul connected with God. When the mind is restless, even if the body is strong, you feel drained. When the heart is heavy, even if the mind is sharp, you feel empty. But when your inner being is aligned with the divine, energy flows naturally, effortlessly, and abundantly. We spend hours charging our phones, but how much time do we spend charging ourselves? If just 20 minutes each morning can change the quality of our day, imagine what it could do for the quality of our life. Let us take this journey together and discover 7 practices that open the door to daily energy. When the sun rises each morning, it paints the world with light, but very few pause to allow that same light to enter their heart. Most people wake up, grab their phone, scroll through endless messages, and drown themselves in a flood of information before their soul even gets a chance to breathe. And then they wonder why the day feels heavy, why the mind feels restless, why there is no freshness in their energy. That is why the very first step in unlocking daily energy is to begin by connecting with silence. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of peace. It is the quiet conversation between you and the divine. It is the stillness that allows your inner chaos to dissolve. Just like muddy water settles when left untouched, the restless mind too becomes clear when we sit in silence. Imagine walking into a room filled with dust. If you keep moving quickly, the dust keeps rising and clouding your vision. But if you sit quietly, the dust settles, and suddenly you can see everything clearly. The same happens inside our hearts and minds. When we jump out of bed and rush into the noise of the world, the dust of thoughts, worries, fears, comparisons swirls within us, leaving us confused and restless. But when we gift ourselves just a few minutes of stillness, the dust of the mind settles and clarity arises. You begin to see what really matters, and this clarity itself becomes energy. Think of a lake in the early morning. When there is no wind, its surface reflects the beauty of the sky perfectly. But if a storm passes, the water shakes and nothing is clear. Our mind is that lake. Silence is the still morning that allows it to reflect the divine light within. In that reflection, energy flows naturally. When your thoughts are calm, you conserve energy. When your thoughts are scattered, you leak energy. Many of us feel tired, not because our bodies work too hard, but because our minds worked without pause, endlessly running in circles. Silence gives the mind rest, and this rest restores the soul's vitality. In daily life, we can see this truth clearly. For example, notice how exhausted you feel after hours of unnecessary conversations, arguments, or social media scrolling. Even if you didn't move physically, you feel drained. Why? Because the mind never stopped. On the other hand, remember a time when you sat near the ocean, gazing at the waves, or stood under the night sky looking at the stars. You didn't do anything, yet you walked away feeling renewed. That is the power of silence. it gives more than it takes. When you begin your day with silence, you are not running away from life, you are preparing to face it with strength. Athletes stretch before a game, musicians tune their instruments before a performance, and painters prepare their canvas before creating art. In the same way, silence is the tuning of the human spirit before stepping into the day. It aligns you with God so that every word you speak and every action you take comes from a place of balance. And when life throws challenges at you, as it surely will, you respond with calm energy instead of reactive exhaustion. Let us consider a simple example. Two people wake up at the same time. One instantly dives into emails, news, and problems. The other sits quietly for 5 minutes, focusing on breathing, remembering the presence of God. At the end of the day, who will feel more drained? The first person spent the whole day reacting, while the second person carried a silent anchor within, making them more stable. It is not about how busy life is, but how centered we are while living it. Silence is also where you hear the voice of God most clearly. In the noise of the world, His whisper is drowned. But in stillness, you realize that you were never alone. You sense guidance, you feel supported, and you recognize that your energy is not your own. It flows from a higher source. This realization itself fills you with strength, because when you know the infinite is with you, how can you feel limited? Start small. Even if you cannot give 20 minutes to silence, give 5. Even if you cannot sit in meditation, simply close your eyes, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, God is with me. I am guided. I am safe. These words in silence create a powerful energy shield around you. Slowly, as this practice grows, you will notice that silence no longer feels empty. It feels full, alive, nourishing. And you will start to crave it like you crave water when thirsty. In a world that celebrates noise and busyness, choosing silence may look unproductive. But the truth is, silence is the most productive thing you can do for your soul. It sharpens your awareness, strengthens your energy, and allows you to carry peace into every corner of your day. Just as a lamp cannot shine without being plugged into electricity, we cannot shine without being connected to the divine current of silence. So tomorrow morning, before you scroll, before you rush, before you drown in distractions, pause. Sit quietly, breathe, let silence embrace you. And in that sacred stillness, remember, energy is not something you have to create. It is something you simply have to uncover. It was always within you, waiting for you to listen. The body is not just flesh, bones, and muscles. It is the sacred temple through which the soul experiences life. Too often, we treat it like a machine, forcing it to run endlessly without pause, without care, without respect. We wake up and immediately burden it with stress, rush, and heaviness, forgetting that it is this very body that allows us to smile, to walk, to embrace, to serve, to pray, and to live. When we neglect it, our energy drops. When we honor it with mindful movement, our energy rises. That is why moving the body with awareness each morning is one of the most powerful ways to unlock daily vitality. Think of your body like a musical instrument. If a guitar is left untouched, its strings gather dust and lose their tone. But when tuned and played, it produces beautiful music. In the same way, if we let our body remain stiff and inactive, energy becomes blocked and we feel sluggish. But when we stretch, walk, or breathe with awareness, we tune our body to the rhythm of life, and suddenly it begins to sing with energy. The body doesn't need extreme workouts or hours in the gym every morning. Sometimes just 10 minutes of stretching, a mindful walk in the fresh air, or a few rounds of gentle yoga can awaken every cell with aliveness. Daily life gives us countless examples of this truth. Have you ever noticed how dull and heavy you feel after sitting for hours at a desk, staring at a screen? Your body feels stuck, your mind foggy, and your energy low. Now recall how alive you feel after even a short walk outside, or after dancing to your favorite song, or after taking a few deep stretches. Suddenly, the heaviness lifts and energy flows again. This shows us that movement is not just for physical fitness, it is for mental clarity and spiritual balance too. The beauty of mindful movement is that it doesn't just energize the body, it also purifies the mind. When you stretch your arms to the sky in the morning, you are not just loosening muscles. You are symbolically opening yourself to receive strength from above. When you bend forward, you are not just stretching your back, you are practicing humility, reminding yourself to bow before the divine. When you breathe deeply while moving, you are not just taking in oxygen, you are welcoming life itself into every corner of your being. Every movement becomes a prayer, every gesture a reminder of your connection with God. Consider the story of a gardener. Each morning, before beginning his work, he waters the plants, loosens the soil, and allows fresh air to reach the roots. He knows that without this care, the plants will not grow well. Our body is the same. Movement is the watering of our physical being, loosening the stiffness, allowing fresh circulation, and preparing us to grow through the day's challenges. Neglecting it is like leaving the garden dry. Life within us begins to wither. Even the smallest practices can have profound effects. A simple walk in the park at sunrise can fill you with energy greater than any cup of tea or coffee. The gentle rhythm of footsteps, the cool air, the sound of birds, all of these align your body with the flow of nature. And when the body aligns with nature, energy flows effortlessly. Or think of a few minutes of mindful stretching. As you lengthen your spine and open your chest, you are literally creating space within yourself, releasing tension, and inviting energy to circulate. These small rituals may look ordinary, but they awaken extraordinary power within. We see this truth reflected in children. Watch how children move. They jump, run, stretch, and twist without hesitation. Their energy seems endless and their joy contagious. Why? Because they don't allow energy to remain trapped. Their constant movement keeps life flowing. As adults, we often lose this natural rhythm, but we can reclaim it by moving our bodies with awareness. Even 5 minutes of childlike play in the morning, twisting, bending, or simply swaying to music, can remind us of the joy and vitality we once carried so naturally. Movement also teaches us discipline and balance. When you commit to moving your body each morning, you are telling yourself, I respect this temple God has given me. That respect creates self-confidence, which itself becomes a source of energy. When you treat your body carelessly, you unconsciously tell yourself that your life doesn't matter as much. But when you nurture it, you affirm that your life is valuable, that your existence has meaning. This affirmation becomes strength that carries you through the day. There is also a deeper spiritual dimension to movement. In ancient traditions, people understood that the body and the mind are deeply connected. They moved not only for health but for harmony. Each movement was a reminder that life itself is a dance with the divine. When you move with awareness, whether in yoga, tai chi, or simply walking mindfully, you are participating in this sacred dance. And in that dance, you feel energy not as something you create, but as something you align with. The truth is, energy is already within you, waiting to be unlocked. But just as stagnant water breeds disease, while flowing water stays fresh, a stagnant body breeds heaviness, while a moving body stays alive. The invitation, therefore, is simple each morning: move. Not out of obligation, but out of love. Not to punish your body, but to honor it. Not to become perfect, but to feel alive. With each stretch, remember the gift of being able to move. With each breath, remember the presence of God sustaining you. With each step, remember that life is a journey and movement is a way of saying, I am ready to walk it with energy. So, tomorrow, instead of rushing straight into tasks, take a few moments to move with awareness. Feel the muscles waking up, the breath deepening, the heart opening. Recognize that this body is the instrument through which the divine plays the music of life. And when the instrument is tuned, the music is beautiful. Your day becomes lighter, your energy becomes brighter, and your presence becomes inspiring to all who meet you. Movement is not just exercise. It is worship, it is gratitude in action, and it is one of the simplest, most powerful keys to unlocking daily energy. When the eyes open each morning, the first thought that enters the mind often sets the tone for the day. Sadly, for many people, that first thought is a complaint. I didn't sleep enough, I'm too tired, I have too much work, why is life so difficult? And before the sun has even risen, the heart is already heavy. But if we choose to begin with gratitude, the entire day transforms. Gratitude is not just a polite thank you, it is a powerful state of being that turns ordinary moments into treasures and ordinary days into blessings. It is the lens through which we see life not as lacking, but as abundant. When you choose gratitude, you don't just change your mood, you unlock an energy that makes you resilient, joyful, and deeply connected with God. Think of it like this: when you look at a half-filled glass, you can either complain that it's half empty or rejoice that it's half full. The water doesn't change. What changes is your perspective. Gratitude is that shift of vision. It doesn't always remove challenges, but it changes how you carry them. A grateful heart does not feel as burdened because it remembers the gifts that still exist amidst the difficulties. Just as a traveler in the desert cherishes every drop of water, a grateful person cherishes every blessing, no matter how small. Daily life offers countless opportunities for gratitude, yet we overlook them. We wake up and rarely thank the breath that continues to flow through us. Without it, we wouldn't even be alive. We eat food, but forget the hands that prepared it, the soil that nourished it, the rain that watered it, the sun that ripened it. We walk on streets, but ignore the countless efforts of people who built them. Life is filled with invisible blessings, and gratitude is the practice of opening our eyes to see them. When you notice these gifts, a natural joy arises, and that joy itself becomes energy. Consider a simple example. Imagine two people stuck in traffic on their way to work. One complains, honks, curses, and grows frustrated. The other notices the delay but chooses gratitude. At least I have a car to sit in. At least I have a job to go to. At least I am safe and alive. The traffic doesn't change, but their experience does. The first arrives drained, while the second arrives calm and energized. Gratitude doesn't change situations, it changes us, and that change is where strength is born. Even science supports this truth. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly sleep better, experience less stress, and live longer. But beyond science, gratitude is deeply spiritual. When you are grateful, you are essentially saying to God, I recognize your gifts, I value them, I honor them. And when you honor what you already have, you become a magnet for more. Just as a parent is moved to give more to a child who appreciates their gifts, life too opens more doors for the grateful heart. Gratitude is also a shield against negativity. The mind can easily get trapped in comparison. Why does she have more money? Why does he have more success? Why is their life easier? But gratitude breaks this cycle. Instead of saying, I don't have what they have, it says, I already have so much. This shift protects the soul from envy, jealousy, and self-pity, which are the greatest thieves of energy. A grateful person doesn't waste energy chasing what others have. They use their energy to cherish and grow what they have been given. Let's take another example. Imagine someone wakes up in a small room with only a bed, a table, and a lamp. They may think, my life is so simple, I wish I had more. But another person wakes up in the same room and thinks, I have a bed to sleep on, many in the world don't. I have light to read by, many live in darkness. I have a roof to protect me, countless others sleep under the sky. The room is the same, but the second person begins the day with more energy because gratitude fuels the soul with contentment. Contentment is not about having everything. It is about recognizing that you already have enough. When practiced sincerely, gratitude also deepens humility.